We are going to have the national elections in Switzerland. As always, a lot of politicians try to position themselves as the best. From my perspective, startups should get better opportunities for their ecosystem, and that's why I am interested in politicians who support startups. I met with two politicians who call themselves Team Startup. They also made a platform for entrepreneurs and everybody to contribute ideas that can help the startup ecosystem. I'd like to clearly state that this is no kind of a promotional video, and I'm not getting paid for this. This is just all about how we can foster the startup ecosystem. Everybody who is somewhat familiar with the macro perspective of an ecosystem understands that there are various players. Politics is a very, very important one. I met with Andri member of the Municipal Parliament of Zurich, and Judith Bollag, member of the Cantonal Parliament of Zurich. They are, like myself, passionate about startups and promise, if they get elected, to support entrepreneurs in front of the national parliament. In the next few minutes, I'm going to understand if they really mean what they say. The first doubt I have about Team Startup is that they are not from the same party, but teamed up just for the elections. But after hearing their answer, I think this totally makes sense.
You know, in Switzerland, every party is a minority party, so you need to team up if you want to really have an impact. So we came together and we decided to have an impact and not just doing like campaigning for startups, but really want to change something. So that's why we had to team up. If we wouldn't do it, we would have no impact. It would be just a bit of marketing.
I think it's a real issue for startups that we work in these political silos of the parties. And, you know, one party doesn't want to work with the other one on an issue because otherwise they get more points than us. And I think this is what makes us really special. For the first time in the history of startup politics, we've decided to leave political party barriers behind us and work together for the startups.
Both of them already made their experiences with startups. Nevertheless, how can they really know what startups really need in such a fast-changing world we live in?
We don't say we know all the issues of the startups in Switzerland, but we say we offer a tool where all the founders and all the entrepreneurs can hand in their best idea how they want to change the ecosystem and the legal framework in Switzerland. So it's important that you know by yourself what it means to start a company, but also to have an open ear.
There has already been some movement from startups in the political system. That's why I really wanted to know of them what kind of value they can add.
Well, at the end of the day, there has been some movement, that's right, but let's take it, startups are not on the priority list of politicians at the moment. It might be a generation problem, it might be a problem of other priorities, that's legit, but on the other hand, startup needs some more drive in there, some committed politicians that say, yes, I'm here for you and I'm your platform in politics. And that's what we want to do.
Honestly, these words are nice, but they couldn't convince me. That's why I dug deeper and asked them about which specific issues they will tackle next.
I mean, clearly the main pain point is talent for startup. We've got talent, but it's expensive in Switzerland. And tied with that problem is also these stock and stock option plans, because startups like to make their employees participate into the value, but still it's only a value. It's not pure cash, but they are taxed as if it was cash. And this is a problem. We need to change that regime. And that's urgent.
On top of what Judith said, I think it's also important to rethink the relationship from the government to the startups and the processes, because many things you are engaging, you have to ask the bureaucrats like how to do it, and everything is on paper at the moment, so it's not digitized at all. So it's not just to digitize the process itself, but also to rethink the processes, how to interact between government and startups.
Drifting away from what they wanted to do next, I always think it's interesting to ask people about their thoughts of what the future will look like in 10 years. That provides a lot of insight into their mindset, so listen carefully.
I would say it's like really easy to found a company. There is not a shame to fail anymore. And in the end, it would be great to don't just have like Google here with 2,000 employees, but also to have the next Google founded in Zurich. This must be our ambition.
And for this, we also need to generate more gravity for the investors, because at the end of the day, that has improved up to a certain point, but for large scale investments, you still have to go broad. And if you've got an investor in US or UK, they want the startup on site.
I am totally happy that Andri and Judith teamed up and tried to bring startups into politics and make the life of founders and startups just a little bit easier. I feel that they have a lot of energy and are willing and able to initiate changes and have a positive impact on the startup ecosystem. So far, they created a platform called Team Startup, where startups can pitch their political ideas so they can bring this in as a motion once they get elected for the national parliament. If you have a great idea, pitch it now, as the deadline for submission is Monday, 30th of September. The link is in the description below. I hope you got some interesting insights into the thoughts of Andri and Judith, and this video helped you with your choice who to elect. Thank you so much and have a great day.